We are back, and I know we had some audio problems, so we'll skip back just a bit. I am here with Bruce, and Bruce just told me that he is the matchmaker. So what that means is that he introduced nuCamp to Barefoot, or was it Barefoot to nuCamp? How did that work?
Yeah, I originally had a dialogue with Kathy from Barefoot Caravans, the founder. And when I understood that she was looking for a US company to manufacture and distribute the unit, I immediately thought that nuCamp would just be a great fit. They make small, high quality, premium compact units, many of them with European design features and technology. And I just felt that that operation would be a perfect fit. So I connected the two companies. I put Kathy in connection with Scott Hubble, the CEO of nuCamp, and I let them go away and discuss the product, bring a product over, show it to dealers, and eventually reach a point where they were ready and confident to sign a deal to develop a US version of the Barefoot specifically for this marketplace.
Well, that is so exciting. You know, I remember when you brought the first one over and I got to see it. I must have been one of those dealers that was supposed to decide whether it was a good product or not, that got to look at it. Man, my first reaction is, how fast can you do this? And when they finally said yes, agreed to move forward, they called you. Is that right?
Absolutely. There was some time took place, and they did their due diligence, as you said, showed it to the dealer body and really gained confidence in the concept. And then Scott reached back out to me and asked me to become involved in project managing the development of the US version of the product.
And he did that partly because you were a great matchmaker, but partly because you have a great background for developing product. So for those of you who couldn't hear earlier, what have you done in the past that made you so perfect for this job?
Well, my industry experience is particularly 10 years as VP of Product Development and Engineering at Airstream, responsible for all the motorized and the turbo products. And during that career, I had a lot of experience of developing products for all different countries around the world, for South Korea, for Australia, for the UK, for Thailand. We developed products for all different world markets. So I had a fairly good understanding of the type of issues and considerations that crop up whenever you take a country and a product and look to adapt a product from one country and use it successfully in another country. I had a pretty good idea of the type of issues and questions that we needed to tackle.
Yes, it was surprising to me that when I talked to Ben and Kathy earlier today, they said one of the most surprising things about seeing this Barefoot is that it's like opposite from everything they know. So it feels really strange. That's not the half of it. Tell me the challenges you had in building the product here as opposed to what they build in the UK. I mean, what were some of the biggest challenges?
Well, you mentioned the fact that the configuration is switched around. Essentially, the UK Barefoot had the door on the left-hand side of the unit, and we quickly realized that to be compatible with US campgrounds, we really needed the door to be on the right-hand side of the unit.
Yeah, nobody wants to step out where their sewer hose connects, right? Nobody.
Not a good situation. We weren't going to put our customers through that. So we recognized it was a lot of work, but we committed that we needed to move the entry door to the other side. So that not only meant re-engineering the body and the door and the windows, but it then meant that everything inside the unit had to be mirrored in terms of the floor plan layout. So all the furniture on the left-hand side ended up being on the right and vice versa. Similarly, all the systems that we have tucked away inside and behind some of those cabinets, they all had to be relocated. And the rear bathroom, that beautiful molded rear bathroom that goes across the entire width of the unit, that really had to be recreated from scratch. And we went right back to building clay models and forms and molding new parts. So that bathroom is completely unique to the US version. Although it still has the same look and the design feel of the original, those are unique parts. So that translation of the door was probably the first really big piece of the puzzle. But then the next chapter was we did a lot of market research and identified what are the key features and functions that the US consumer needs that weren't in the base design from the UK.
So the US has different equipment in it. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct. Just the tradition in small caravans in the UK is that the holding tanks are portable tanks. They're separate. You operate them outside the unit, and there's a fair amount of campsite setup. When you arrive at the campground, you have to fill up your water, place that outside the unit, connect it with a little 12-volt pump. Similarly, there's a portable waste tank that has to be set up outside. And when we looked at all that through the eyes of the US consumer, we thought that they would find that not only alien and strange, but just inconvenient and not acceptable at this price point.
So in case you're wondering, the Barefoot has a 23-gallon freshwater tank, a 17-gallon gray tank. Am I right? Am I on track?
You're doing very well.
Okay, I'm going by memory here. I looked at the specs a little while ago, and it is a cassette toilet. So it's got 5 gallons in the black tank. By the way, for those of you that are worried, I love a black tank. I love a cassette toilet instead of a black tank. It's so convenient. Yeah, be sure to watch the videos that are out. We should have a walkthrough video out soon, and I'll show you how it works. It's so easy. So this has water tanks. The one in the UK doesn't at all. What other equipment is different?
The other key piece of equipment is the air conditioning system and the ventilation system. The UK unit did not have an air conditioner, and it had a simple opening roof skylight. We've upgraded that skylight to be a multi-speed fantastic fan. And then we strove very hard to incorporate an air conditioner. We didn't want to disrupt the beautiful looks of this unit with a big box on the top. So we sought a different solution. We really sought a solution where we could hide the air conditioner. I think we've achieved that. We have an air conditioning system that's central. It's hidden inside the unit, above floor, behind cabinets. And we then duct air to the 3 main living spaces within the unit to give the kind of creature comfort that the American consumer expects.
3 main living spaces. It blows me away to hear you say that, because you've got this wraparound seating area. The kitchen is literally right behind it. And then you've got the bathroom in the back. And they have ducted air to all 3 of these areas with an Air 8. So it's amazing. And in the UK, you didn't have an air conditioner at all. They don't need one, I guess.
None at all. It's much less common to use air conditioners generally, whether it's in houses or in RVs. And of course, the climate is milder too, so that factors into it. But we knew absolutely we needed air conditioning. And then in terms of climate control, we also have this fantastic Aldi system on the unit, which is a nuCamp signature feature that they use widely across other units. And again, that actually generates heat in all of the 3 main living areas of the caravan. So it should be extremely comfortable from a climate control perspective.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I just hate it when there's no duct for heat in the bathroom. I mean, if you're going for comfort, that's awesome. So is there an Aldi system in the UK version?
No, they use a slightly different type of system in the UK system, actually, a Truma system.
They have a Truma system there, but you still have heat, right? Heat and hot water?
Yeah, they still have heat. They don't have such a need for air conditioning over there with the climate, but they certainly need the heat for the cold days. So yeah, they do have a very good heat system in their caravan.
Okay, well, that sounds like an awful lot of gear to try to fit into this trailer and have it look exactly the same. That's amazing. What was the biggest hurdle in trying to make all that happen?
Exactly as you described. I mean, we tried to achieve a bit of a TARDIS effect here. We didn't want to make the unit bigger and heavier and lose its visual appeal, and yet we had to pack all this functionality in. So we talked about how we integrated the air conditioning in the unit, and then we were able to get the tanks in by designing a brand new chassis, completely new US spec chassis with a deeper side rail that enables us to then package in those underfloor holding tanks. And it also includes all the other adaptations we needed to make on the chassis for the US market. So it meets all federal motor vehicle safety standards. It has US size wheels and tires, a US axle, US brake system, the electric brake system. Again, that was a distinction from the UK unit, which used more of an overrun type brake system. So we've upgraded all of those mechanicals so they're what people are used to expecting and seeing, and they're all components that can be serviced and supported by the RV dealer network in the US.
All that is really great information. I know people are trying to get all the details on the Barefoot now that it is finally launched. And you are certainly the person to get all those details. I have one last question for you, Bruce. I want to know, it sounds like we've added a lot of things into this Barefoot. What is the weight difference between the one in the UK and the one here? Since you've added that gear, does this one weigh a lot more than that one?
It does weigh more. I'd have to kind of check the numbers, but it's within 100 pounds of the original. So we've done pretty well given everything we've added to the unit.
Only about 100 pounds more. In case you're wondering, this trailer weighs 2,150 pounds. So if you've got a 3,500 pound towing capacity, it's a breeze. Very cool. Any that you think needs to be like said about this Barefoot trailer that we haven't talked about? Any other great things you know that you designed that we don't know about?
I think it's everyone can see the unique shape, but obviously that comes with a unique construction, both in terms of building the product, but then in terms of the manufacturing plant too. We have a manufacturing plant that is quite different from any conventional manufacturing plant. So there's a lot of pieces and parts and a lot that goes into making something look as unique as this. But I think the reaction today from the crowd shows that it's certainly worth that effort, because that's how you get this signature look, which is really like nothing else on the road today.
Yeah, I said that earlier, that it was nothing like anything else. And I was told, yes, it is. It's just like the one in the UK. So, all right. Well, Bruce, thank you so much. You have all this technical expertise. I know nuCamp is thrilled to have you on this project. I know Kathy, all the people at the Barefoot in the UK are thrilled that you were able to make this happen. Thanks for telling us about it today. Great talking to you.
Thank you so much, PJ.
Oh, they're clapping for us. For you guys out there that are watching, we're going to go live again in 30 minutes. So hang on, because next I'm going to talk to Scott Hubble, the CEO of nuCamp, get his take on the Barefoot, what that was like from his perspective. Thanks so much. See you then.